Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Colorado Rockies rebuild franchise here on MLB The Show 24. In the last episode, we made up some ground. We went over German Marquez's rehab stint as he's set to make his first MLB start here this week for the first time in about a year and 2 or 3 months. So we'll get into the simming here as we do have the MLB Draft looming, and that's just 6 days from now. We have a rubber match here, Peter Lambert on against Seth Lugo of the Colorado Rockies. Oh yeah, so I have to actually do something real quick, and I don't want to do it offline. I wanted to bring it to your attention. So Benny Montgomery, center fielder prospect, he's been tearing it up so far in Double-A, batting .315, slugging .486, OPS at .875, and an even three WAR. He's been playing very well. Good fielder, good arm, good speed. Hitting traits, not too great right now, but for Double-A, he's certainly getting the job done. And we need an outfielder up in Triple-A, so he's going to get the call up. And I just wanted to do that because he's someone who will probably crack the roster at some point, maybe even within the next couple of years or so. All right, now we can sim this game. Lambert against Seth Lugo. Nolan Jones is available to return from the IL, and we'll get him back into the lineup. But first, let's check out this box score as we fall 5-1, and that's probably Peter Lambert's last start. We're going to put him back into his long relief role with Marquez about to join the team, as well as Dakota Hudson is going to be coming back from injury as well. Sean Bouchard, 1 for 4 there in the 2-hole, batting .230 now. I don't know how much longer he'll be on the MLB roster, but we'll see how it goes. Montero 2 for 4 with an RBI. Alan Trejo. We're probably going to get rid of Trejo here soon and just designate him for assignment. And Brenton Doyle 2 for 2. Lambert 4 earned and 4 1/3 as he falls to 1 and 4. Lucas Gilbreth 1 2/3 of scoreless pitching. And then Matt Cook continues his good pitching. John Curtis as well. Jake Bird gave up a run there. And last episode, we actually made our first trade. We traded away Jalen Beeks and our closer, Daniel Bard. And in return, we got this second baseman prospect, Cameron Cawley from the Rangers. And we're actually going to make another trade here. So with Marquez returning and Dakota Hudson about to return from the IL here in a day or two, we're going to get rid of a relief pitcher here. And Tyler Kinley, it kind of pains me to get rid of him. He's been very, very good, maybe one of the best relief pitchers in all of baseball at a 1.38 ERA and a whip under 1. But he's regressing, 33 years old, and he just doesn't really have a long-term future with us. So we're going to throw him in a trade, and we're going to move him to the St. Louis Cardinals as they're kind of contending for a playoff spot here, and they definitely need a boost in the bullpen. So we're not going to take advantage of the trade engine here in MLB The Show. As I said last episode, it's really easy to just exploit and use it for your benefit. So we're just going to go for like 2 B potential relief pitchers, both at 55 overall. So it will take them some time before they make it to the big leagues, probably in their late 20s. So maybe another 5 years or so. But Tekoa Roby, 76 stamina. You love that out of a relief pitcher. Someone who could take on that long relief role. It looks like he's serving as the Double-A closer right now, 22 out of 28, so not too good there as a closer. We envision him as more of a long relief guy, as I said, and velocity is probably the standout trait at this point. Gets up to like 93, but those per 9 categories certainly have to improve, as well as his clutch rating. And then Adam Kloffenstein, another guy with good stamina at 65. His hits per 9 and home runs per 9, pretty good at considering his level right now. Control definitely needs some work, but similar velocity here to Tekoa Roby as he hits about 93. He is in AAA though, 50 innings of work, 4-0, very good ERA, although the whip about middle of the pack there. 0.7 whip for Kloffenstein and a .4 whip here for Tekoa Roby. So Tyler Kinley is going to join the St. Louis Cardinals for a potential playoff run. And he has 3 years on his deal. I mean, 2 years after this season. So I wasn't sure if that was like a detriment. Like, does a team want to take on a reliever for 2 more years at this point. But I feel like on the flip side, some teams might look at that as a positive, saying, we have this solid relief pitcher locked up for another 2 years at just $2 million. So I feel like we might have been able to net a little bit more in return, but I'm pretty content with getting 2 B potential relief pitchers. So Kinley moves on to St. Louis, and Dakota Hudson, the former St. Louis Cardinal, is going to be back with us pretty shortly. And like I said, Marquez will just actually call him up now as he's set to make his first start with the Colorado Rockies, as I said earlier, in about a year and a half or so. And then I also wanted to make one more minor move. So Alan Trejo here, our utility man off the bench, just batting under 200, doesn't offer a speed, just regressing now, just deep potential. So we're going to go ahead and just designate him for assignment. And in his spot, we're going to just call up Kyle Daytress here from AAA. An upgrade, similar fielding traits, although he provides a little more power. And he's progressing at least, 28 years old, can play every position in the infield, and hitting .276 in AAA, slugging over .430, and just a solid overall player, 66 overall. So we do want him to progress a little bit more, maybe a little early calling him up. But welcome to the show, Kyle Daytress, as he'll just kind of be a platoon guy, and he offers much more speed than Trejo, and we definitely need speed off the bench. So now we'll keep it going here with the simulating. We have a 4-game set here against Cincinnati, and they're having a pretty decent season, 3 games over 500. We fall again 5-1 for the second time in 2 straight games. Tapia, I thought I moved him down in the lineup, but 0 for 4 again, and he's just not. I think he might be like 0 for his last 20 or something like that. I'm going to have to go back and look that up. Nolan Jones 0 for 3 with a strikeout his first game back. Montero had a home run and a 2-hit day. Drew Romo 1 for 3 with a double, his first extra base hit of his career. And Kyle Daytress there started at shortstop, 0 for 3 with a strikeout in his MLB debut. Kyle Freeland has really been coming around lately, just 2 earned in 6, although he did allow 7 hits. Matt Cook, 2 earned in an inning, and Amir Garrett allows 3 hits and 1 earned is in his third appearance against now his first game against his former team in the Reds. Now Cal Quantrill against Andrew Abbott. I'll just auto fix for now. A key moment here. We're down by 2. Tapia up. 2 runners on in the top of the 9th. No outs. We'll just simulate with the draft coming up. And looks like we fell short. And now Dakota Hudson is off the injured list. First, we'll look at this result here against the Reds. At least Tapia got a hit in this one. Bouchard playing third, a hit, 2 RBIs. Nolan Jones a hit. Brendan Rodgers 1 for 4. Bryant and Tovar each had a hit. Romo 1 for 3. And Doyle 1 for 3. So Romo's getting a lot of playing time here. Cal Quantrill 3 earned in 5. John Curtis a scoreless inning, as well as Matt Cook. And Lucas Gilbreth gets the loss. We were actually tied 3-3 in the bottom of the 9th, and he gave up a run there. So we drop the first 3 of this episode, and we're now 1-8 in July. Not a good start here from our Colorado Rockies. And now I want to direct your attention here to Jason DeLay on the waiver wire, and we're actually going to put in a claim here for DeLay. A good contact guy as a backup catcher, an upgrade as a fielder at what we're currently getting in Jacob Stallings, although he is out, which is why Drew Romo has been playing a lot and has been called up recently. But we're going to move on from Elias Diaz here probably in this episode and trade him, and Jason DeLay will be there as a backup catcher. And we might just end up splitting time between DeLay and Romo in the last couple months of the season. So we'll go ahead and we'll put a claim in on Jason DeLay. Next order of business, we're going to go ahead and call up Chase Dollander, the top pitching prospect in our organization, a potential starting pitcher. 6-4 in Double-A, exactly 100 innings pitched, 3.51 ERA, a 1.32 WHIP, 10 quality starts, and a 2.3 WAR. So he's someone hopefully can crack the rotation, maybe even by next season if we don't cash in free agency. We might look to Dollander to maybe elevate his status into a roster spot in spring training. So Dollander now part of the Albuquerque Isotopes, and we'll go ahead and move him into the rotation. And of course, we'll take out Molina. And Mitch Bratt was also brought over in that trade with the Texas Rangers last episode, where we sent Daniel Bard and Jalen Beeks to the Rangers. Now we have German Marquez set to make his first start, and we'll do a quick manage here. We, of course, did his rehab start with the Isotopes in AAA last episode, and here we'll just quick manage his first start back in the major leagues for the first time since April of 2023. Raimel Tapia is still leading us off here against lefties as he gets a single to start this game. Brendan Rodgers now, a fielder's choice. And nothing after the leadoff single. German Marquez now against Elly De La Cruz. And his first batter faced since returning gives up a solo home run to start it against De La Cruz. He responds with a strikeout. Candelario, a walk, steals second, and another home run in the inning as Jonathan India goes yard. 2-run bomb there. 3 runs in the first inning surrendered by Marquez, and his return wasn't too polite here in Cincinnati. I'm sorry, we're in Colorado. So back at home, he responds there in the second with 2 strikeouts, but not good there in the first. Drew Romo leadoff single as Tapia grounds into a double play. Rodgers grounds out. 1-2-3 inning there for Marquez. Good response after that first. Chris Bryant, a solo home run, and Rockies are on the board. A single for McMahon, although Tovar strikes out. Bottom of the fourth now, and another home run from Jonathan India, the third allowed here from Marquez. And then a walk, and then an RBI double from Encarnacion. And it might be time to go to the bullpen. We'll give him a couple more batters here. Gets a fly out, and then Fairchild an RBI single. And we're going to have to go to the bullpen. We'll bring in Ryan Feltner back in his long relief role. A stolen base there, but Fairchild thrown out at the plate. Elly De La Cruz a stolen base. Feltner walks. Benson now runs on first and second for Spencer Steer with a .347 batting average, leading the National League right now. He works a walk. Bases loaded now for Jeimer Candelario. And Feltner gets the fly out. 6-1 now, top of the fifth. 2 outs. Raimel Tapia gets a single, although that's all we get in the inning. A walk and a single now, and then Encarnacion an RBI single. Runners on the corners, no outs here. Pop up, a sac bunt, so now runners on second and third for De La Cruz, and he grounds out. Feltner gets out of what could have been a really bad inning there, only allows 1 run. Williamson still on the mound, a 2-out single from Bryant, and then a pop-up. So we'll let Feltner start the bottom of the sixth here, but we'll give him a short leash as he gives up 2 singles, and now we'll go to the bullpen here against the lefty, and we'll bring up Lucas Gilbreth. And he gets the fly out. Runners stranded on the corners. Nick Martinez now into the game for the Reds as he gets 2 strikeouts and then a ground out, a 1-2-3 inning for him. Gilbreth gets a 1-2-3 inning there in the bottom of the 7th. A 2-out walk from Nolan Jones, a single from Montero. Runners on the corners for Bryant, 2 hits in this game. And he gets a hit, but an RBI single, a runner was thrown out. So now Gilbreth on against De La Cruz in the bottom of the 8th. A leadoff single, he steals another one. Spencer Steer a fly out, and Candelario on with 2 outs. And he grounds out now. We need 5 here in the top of the 9th. A leadoff double from McMahon. And then nothing after that. So, in German Marquez's first start back, we'll go to the box score. It wasn't pretty. He gave up 3 home runs, 6 earned in 3 1/3, 8 base runners, and 4 strikeouts. A 16.2 ERA. Hopefully he can bounce back his next time out. So now we just have a couple more games to go before we reach the MLB Draft. Austin Gomer here against Frankie Montas. I will just simulate this. Montas only 2 hits allowed into the 7th. Montero trying to keep a 10-game hitting streak alive. And we fall there 8-0. And with that, we have claimed 29-year-old catcher Jason DeLay off waivers. So now we fall to 1-10 in the month of July. We get swept there in 4 against the Reds. And now just 1 game here before the MLB Draft against the Mets. Dakota Hudson his first start since returning from the IL. Nolan Jones, 2 home runs in this game. Rockies up 9-0, and we needed a game like this. We'll just simulate the rest, and we take that game 10-1. Tapia 1 for 6. Nolan Jones 3 for 5, 2 homers, 3 hits for McMahon, 2 hits for Bryant, 2 hits for Romo. And Drew Romo, his first career home run, and he's now batting over 200, so he's starting to get it going a little bit. We had 6 home runs in this game. 2 Jones, Romo, Montero, Bryant, McMahon. Dakota Hudson, 8 1/3 in his first game back. And Matt Cook finished it off there, 2 outs in the 9th. So a good response there. We beat the Mets, and they're having a horrid season at 38-57, equivalent to us, as they're tied. We're tied now with the Mets as the worst teams here in the National League. The Giants aren't too far ahead of us, nor are the Marlins and the Nationals. So kind of like 5 teams here at the doormat of the National League. But it looks like, based on our play here to start July, it looks like we're not going to contend too well to finish the season. Before we get into the MLB Draft, I just wanted to highlight a couple guys because we do have the Futures game, and we do have 2 starters in that. Adael Amador, a shortstop switch hitter, a very good fielder, good speed, but his bat just really not where it needs to be at this point. He has started in AAA, although we just don't have the depth. I would like to start him in AA. Maybe next season. I don't know if you want to call him down after a full season in AAA. So we might just endure the struggles at this point. But you see the -4 contact right now, although the rest of the category is kind of seeing a little bit of progression. But he's our top prospect in our organization, and hopefully within the next 2 or 3 years, he emerges as our starting shortstop. He's starting in the Futures game along with Yanquiel Fernandez, and he's kind of turned it around here in AA. Still not batting as well as you would like, OPS under 700, but he hits righties pretty well, a very strong fielder, and he has good speed. So we're going to get to check out Fernandez and Amador here in the Futures game this season. And we'll see Yanquiel Fernandez first, as he's batting 6th in the lineup for the NL Futures. Daniel Espino on the mound, I believe part of Cleveland's organization, if I'm not mistaken. 0-0 game here in the top of the 2nd, as Fernandez swings at that second pitch as he launches that out to left field. That's caught. Fernandez flies out to to end the 2nd inning here of the Futures game. Now here, 1 away in the top of the 3rd, Adael Amador. And as I said, his bat not his strong suit right now. Ricky Tiedemann on the mound, the southpaw. I do gotta say, I like these uniforms here in the Futures game. Amador, a good wood on that one, a second, although that's snagged. And now our guys start off 0 for 2 combined so far. Now Fernandez on for his 2nd at bat of the game, tied up here in the top of the 5th. Jackson Jobe now on the mound. Fernandez first pitch swinging, another hit out there to left field, and another fly out here for Fernandez. Good wood on the ball, but just not hitting it where they ain't. And now Amador, just a couple batters later, up, still here at the top of the 5th. 2 outs now, runner on first. First pitch ball, as that misses low. Good eye by Amador to start the at-bat. Looks at that fastball in there for a strike. The count now knotted up at 1. The 1-1 now. And Amador smashes that to right field. The right fielder giving chase. And that's out of here. Adael Amador. A 2-run home run here. And he's not known for his power, but he absolutely launches that one as the NL Futures take the lead here. Love to see that display from our top prospect. And at this point, he's in line to be the MVP of this game. That was absolutely smashed off the bat from Amador. 100 miles per hour exit velo. And he launches that one into the seats. Did not expect a home run here from him, but we'll certainly take it. Now Fernandez up to the plate, 0 for 2 in this one. The NL now 4-2. Bases loaded here. No outs in the top of the 6th. Noah Schultz on the mound. And Fernandez pops that one up on the first pitch. And not what you want when you have the bases loaded with no outs. That's likely the last at-bat here for Fernandez. So now Amador back up after that bomb in the 5th inning, and we'll take another look at it as he hit that one off of Jackson Jobe. And I think Jobe, part of the Rangers organization, as he gives up the long ball here in his home ballpark, or his future home ballpark at least. Bases loaded now for Amador. And he looks silly on that changeup. A swing and a miss on that one. 0-1 count now. Amador slaps that. Second baseman dives, can't make the play, and Amador's going to beat that one out. And that's going to be a single, and his 3rd RBI of the day. Amador now 2 for 3 with a homer and 3 ribbies. Smacked that one almost into the outfield. A good play there by the second baseman, but just couldn't keep possession. And Amador, good speed there as he beats it out. Amador back up now, top of the 8th for his fourth time up to the plate. Runner in scoring position here, 1 away. And he grounds that one to second. The second baseman won't make the play that time as Amador goes down on the ground out. 2 for 4 performance from Amador. And I think he's in line to be the MVP of this game, as I said earlier. And the AL Futures actually rally in this game. So we're in extras here. We do get a run here in the 10th. Now Amador up. A chance to extend the lead. 2 outs here. Runner in scoring position. Looks at a first pitch ball as that slider just misses outside. Now 1-0. Swing and a miss. A good fastball there. Count evened at 1. Swing and a miss. A low changeup. And that fooled Amador. 1-2 count now. Fouls off that slider. And we'll do the 1-2 again. And the swing and a pitch. Amador chasing a pitch in the dirt. And we wish that the game just ended there in the 9th. And we didn't have to look at that one. That will do it here, though. The NL Futures hang on to win here in the 10th. And a tremendous performance here from number 79, Adael Amador, as he went 2 for 5, a home run, 3 RBIs, as he helped lead the National Futures to a victory here. Yanquiel Fernandez, not as good of a performance, as he went 0 for 3, but Amador stole the show and proved why he's the top player in the organization. There you see player of the game here in the Futures game. And now it's time for the MLB Draft. And now we are set here to begin the 2024 MLB Draft. And we have our draft queue all ready to go. We'll just kind of go through our quick strategy, kind of best case scenario for this draft. And starting off at number 3 overall on the board we are. And we're really hoping for Howard Wooten, who comes in at number 1 on our board after scouting, number 4 on the MLB board. And I've talked about him a couple times in previous episodes, and just a dynamic, elite hitter, prototypical like DH type guy. Not the best fielding ratings, but he'll be a perennial all-star, and just someone who you could bat in the 3 or the 4 hole, the 5 hole, just super versatile. And he looks to be the best prospect in this draft according to our scouts. So if he's there at number 3, he's going to be the guy. If not, we have 2 pitching prospects that will have the luxury of deciding between. First tier is Michael Yamashita, second on our board, 13th on the MLB board. But if he's there, he's probably the pick. I love the stamina. You know, when you're picking an ace this high, you want them to be able to go deep into games, and he certainly can do that with a top tier stamina potential. Doesn't walk any hitters, limits home runs, and very good breaking ratings. His curveball is dynamic, a good fastball as well, then a changeup, sinker, slider. I really like that repertoire, and his control we'll try and work on as well. So Yamashita, if Wooten isn't available, is our top choice. And then Ramone Barton, he's going to be an ace as well. Very good strikeout stuff, good breaking velocity, another 5-pitch mix. So one of these guys is going to be the pick. Hopefully we can start off with Wooten as one of our offensive building blocks, but if not, we'll have a potential ace in Yamashita or Barton. Then we pick at 37, and we're really hoping Merrill Carney is there, 44th on the MLB board, so it's going to be tight to see if he can make it that far down. 6th on our board, so if we're able to start with Wooten and then Carney, that would be a tremendous start and give us two guys on the corners at first and third, although Wooten's probably more of a DH, but that would give us two long-term guys in our lineup. Carney, very good contact, passable power, vision, discipline, have elite potential, and then a Gold Glove caliber type guy we're talking about at the hot corner with a good arm and above average speed as well. So if we can get Carney with our second pick and then Wooten or even one of these pitchers, that would be an ideal start. Then we have 47, and Wes Connor is 20th on our board as starting pitcher. So I don't know if we're going to try and hold off. We also have 80. I don't think he'll be there at 80, so we might have to get him at 41. But we have other pitching prospects that we can decide between as well. Here's Jose Vera, not even ranked on the MLB board, but we have him at 21. So we're going to kind of hold off for him and hope we can get him in maybe the third or fourth. Rob Messer here, we only have him 55% scouted. He's probably not going to drop down to 37, but we have him on our board just in case. Harvey Morin is a more realistic option at 41 or even 37 if that third baseman isn't there. He has very good potential, a 4-pitch repertoire. His strikeout stuff is very good. Walks per 9 he limits. Does allow a lot of hits, but the stamina, an 89 to 99. And just a solid overall guy and someone who's probably like a third or fourth type starter in the rotation. David Francis, another one in this vicinity, a left-handed pitcher. He'll be under consideration, although I think we prefer like Morin over him, Connor over him. And then Juan Ayala, he's someone that I think we're going to have a good chance at picking him. Very good velocity. His fastball hits up to 97. There's a slider, a cutter, a curveball. Very good per 9. Not very good, but just solid all-around per 9 ratings. And 85 to 90 potential. And he's going to come in the 60s already. So I think Ayala is a very good pitcher, 22 years old. And it won't take him, it'll take him maybe 2 years, 3 years tops to work his way into the MLB. So we have some options here, a lot of pitchers. And as I said previously in a past episode, I went strong on the starting pitching scouting and relief pitcher scouting. Herb Lopez, another option here with one of these two picks. But then we have 80, and Justin McFadden is someone who might be there, a left-handed pitcher. Walks per 9 very good, hits per 9 good, strikeouts per 9 pretty good, although his control, velocity, and break just average. Alfonso Campaneris, we have him at 49 compared to the MLB rank of 111. So he's someone we hope is there at 110, but depending on the options, we might even take him at 80. That'll pretty much do it. We have a lot of relief pitchers here just scattered throughout the board. Not many position players. We kind of had to focus more on pitching as we're super thin in that vicinity of our organization right now. Jeff Sanchez is someone who's very interesting, an 87 to 93 potential here at 183 on our board, 163 on the MLB board. So we're even lower on him than the consensus, but still that potential is pretty nuts if he lasts pretty late here in the 7th. Or I'm sorry, the 6th. This isn't the NFL. As I record this, the NFL Draft Day 2 has just concluded. So we are going to start here and get the 2024 MLB Draft underway. The first here in this series, and I have a feeling it's going to be a very good one. Cleveland will kick us off, and let's see who they take. So the first overall pick is Carlos Jimenez, starting pitcher, and he looks to be a very good pitcher, potential 83 to 93, but 14th on our board, 8th on the MLB board. Cleveland probably could have done a little bit better here, but not a bad player. Now, number 2, we're just hoping it's not Harper Wooten, and that's exactly who it is, as Cincinnati snatches our guy. He's going to be a stud hitter, someone kind of similar to Joey Votto, and he'll pick up right where Votto left off there in Cincinnati, and we're certainly going to have our battles with Harper Wooten in the National League. So now that leaves us with the 3rd overall pick, and it really just comes down to Michael Yamashita over Ramone Barton. Yamashita, a higher ceiling, as he's an 80 to 95 potential. Barton an 80 to 90, 64 to 74 overall. So he'll probably come in a little bit higher than Yamashita at 21 years old compared to Yamashita, who's only 18. So Yamashita does have the 84 to 99 stamina compared to Barton, who has 81 to 91. And as I said, when you're picking an ace, this high in the draft, you want them to be able to go 7 or 8, not even thinking twice about it. Yamashita is not going to walk anybody. He's going to limit home runs. His hits per 9, we're going to try and work on, as well as his strikeouts per 9. Very good breaking stuff. His velocity isn't bad. He does a good fastball up to 96, a changeup, sinker, slider, curveball, a very good Mitch, and it looks like he has 2 top-tier pitches with the fastball, curveball, 2 good secondaries there with the changeup, sinker, and then we'll mix in the slider here and there. So I think Michael Yamashita is going to be the guy, even though he's 13th on the MLB board, second on ours, as we have him as a top pitcher. Barton, a very good strikeout pitcher, good velocity, good break, although control will be a concern, and he's going to get hit around a little bit. So the first selection in this Colorado Rockies rebuild is going to be Michael Yamashita as we get our ace here. As I've stressed, our pitching depth in the farm system is essentially non-existent, and Yamashita just a few years away from the big leagues, and he's going to be a number 1 for us. And now here's where it's going to get interesting as the Oakland Athletics are up, and we'll just let these next few picks play out as they go Ramone Barton. So Barton goes 1 pick later, as a good job here drafting so far. Our top 3 on our board went, and then Carlos Jimenez, the odd man out, although still a very good prospect, goes number 1. The White Sox get a second baseman here, Paul Francisco. Not even, I think he was the 3rd second baseman on the overall board, and the White Sox take him there at 5. We didn't have him scouted at all. And Christopher Cobain was actually the top-ranked player on the MLB board, but we only had him about halfway scouted, and he fell down to 43, so we didn't really bother with him further. The Cardinals take a starting pitcher, and Merrill Carney, who we were hoping to get at 37, goes at number 8 here to the Angels, and they got a very, very good player. Wow, so they overdrafted him by 36 picks, but they must have scouted him, and we're in on him as well. Obviously, they take him number 8. Rob Messer here looks to be a very good pitcher for the Pirates, although they overdraft for him a little bit. Rounding out the top 10 is Claude Church, the Colorado kid, who certainly had ties to the Rockies, although we opted for pitching. A very balanced prospect. He looks to be an above-average second baseman, very good fielding and speed traits, good arm. The hitting, nothing special, although it's average or above average, as he'll be a very good second baseman there for the Washington Nationals. 3 center fielders here in a row. The Tigers get Miguel Ferreira, Lou Barrero to the Red Sox, and then the Giants with Ruben Brewster. We didn't have any of them scouted. We didn't really scout outfielders too much. And now the Cubs get a pitcher, Mario Casto, and we didn't scout him too much either, as he was just kind of stayed pat after scouting. We didn't think we would pick him at number 3 if he was being scouted as our number 9 player. Geraldo Guzman, the 5th center fielder selected already in this. Just the 4th center fielder selected now, as he goes 15 to Seattle. Wes Connor was a target for us in this 2nd or 3rd round maybe. He goes here as 71st on the board. The Marlins reach and get their guy he was 20th on our board, so right around where he should be valued. So a good pick there by the Marlins. And then Horace Dykes, 5th on the board, 5th for us scouting, only 46% though. Very good contact hitter, very good vision discipline, so someone who's going to get on base and hit for a high average, and above average fielder with very good speed. So Horace Dykes here for Milwaukee, a very good pick. We would have scouted him further had we not already had Wooten and then our 2 aces scouted. Horace Dykes was kind of the odd man out. If we were at pick 5 or 6, then we probably would have scouted him and he would have been more in play for us. Dallas Galloway to Tampa Bay. The Mets get a 3rd baseman. Chris Nunez, a starting pitcher for Toronto. Fernando Velasquez, a 3rd baseman. And we actually only had him 15% scouted, but he fell all the way to 128, although he is 16 on the MLB board. The Orioles get a good starting pitcher here in Willie Strange. We had him only 55% scouted, but he went up to 7. Saul Martin here for the Dodgers, a starting pitcher. The first catcher goes off the board, Romeo Pratt. And it was a very poor draft for catchers. I would really have liked to gotten one in this draft, but we didn't really bother scouting just because it was so thin. Padres get a starting pitcher here, Cesar DaCosta. He looks to be about drafted where he was valued. Michael Swift here, a right fielder to the Yankees. R.D. Bridges, a center fielder to the Phillies. And we're not going to go through every single pick in this draft. I figure for the first round, maybe the first 2 rounds, we'll go through the picks. But then after that, I'll just simulate to each of our picks. No need to go through a bunch of these guys who are never going to be relevant in this franchise. And Harvey Morin goes off the board, someone we were targeting here, as we do have a pick upcoming at 37. We're now at 31 after the Rangers go. They take a catcher, the reigning World Series champions. But Harvey Morin to the Diamondbacks, a very good pitching prospect, someone we were hoping would be around with one of our next 2 picks, as we have 37 and then 41. So we're coming up soon here. The first relief pitcher goes off the board, Gage Hernandez, and then the closer, Ken Hughes, to Baltimore. And now, this draft did not go as I was hoping. A bunch of our guys are just off the board here. I was hoping for that third baseman. He went 8th overall. And then I was hoping for maybe Harvey Morin here. But he's now off. And now a couple closing pitchers go here. We're 3 away. The Guardians now their second pick after picking starter Carlos Jimenez, number 1 overall. They now go with a relief pitcher. And now the Pirates are up. So for us, Quesada, we're not really going to go relief pitcher yet. And another relief pitcher, so that's to start the 31 through 36, all relief pitchers. And I think that's probably a weird bug in MLB The Show. I noticed how none were selected in the first round. And usually in this game, you have a few relief pitchers or closers, even sometimes first overall, a closer is selected. So maybe logically, teams won't take them in the first round, but then they find it fit afterwards to fill that need. And now teams are just going to start going relief pitcher, it seems. But I think we want to add another starter here. And it's a shame. I mean, Lewis Simmons is a catcher, but we don't have him scouted. Don't want to reach for him here. Jose Vera, not even ranked. So we're going to try and hold off on him for a little bit. Hope he slides down the board. Russ Handy, 41st. We have him at 35, just barely halfway scouted. David Francis, I would hope for a higher ceiling at this point. But Juan Ayala, I talked about him as being, I think he's going to be a very good pitcher. 85 to 90 potential, 62 to 67 overall. So he's going to come in and already be like a AA, AAA level pitcher, and only a couple seasons away from cracking the big league roster. Very good velocity there, elite velocity. His fastball touches 97, his cutter touches 98. Good breaking stuff, and all around per 9, just solid above average traits. We have him at 38th on our board. We're at the 37th pick, so we'd be drafting him pretty much dead on with where he's ranked. And I think our other pick, we're probably going to have to go starting pitcher as well. Maybe Quesada, if he slips down there. Looks to be a very good relief pitcher, and we need to add someone there. So here, I think we're just going to go with Juan Ayala. He seems like a safe bet, and he seems like a guy who could be a bottom-end rotation type guy. Juan Ayala now, pick 37, as we go back-to-back pitchers to start this draft. The Royals now up with the 38th pick, and we select again here very shortly, as do the Royals. We had 37 and 41. They have 38 and 40. There they go with Mariano Salazar, a closer, and they're back up again in 2 picks. Now Oakland's up to start us off here in the second. Seamus Blackwell, another closer, and that's what I'm saying. Every pick after the first, besides ours, has been a reliever or a closer. So the draft logic in this game is just pretty friggin' awful. Excuse my French there. Russ Handy goes to the Royals, a very good starting pitcher prospect. And now we are back up on the board. And it's going to get interesting here. As I said, Quesada might be the pick. We don't have him fully scouted, but he seems like a safe bet as a relief pitcher. Jose Vera, I don't think we quite want to reach for him. Maybe wait it out until next round. David Francis, we did have him at 28th. But as I said, I just wish the ceiling was a little bit higher. Although I like that he's a lefty. He's balanced all around. He really doesn't have a flaw. Maybe his control, but I think he makes up for that all around otherwise. Lewis Simmons, like I said, we're not going to reach for him. Have him unscouted. So it really comes down, I think, to Herb Lopez or David Francis. And Herb Lopez, they're both lefties, which would be good. We already selected 2 righties in this draft. Always good to have a lefty. Very good control, elite break, elite level velocity almost. All his per 9 categories are pretty solid. A 5-pitch mix with a splitter. I love pitchers who throw a splitter. 55 to 65 overall compared to Francis. So Francis is more pro-ready, but just does not have the ceiling at 21 years old. Lopez also 21 years old, but he has 82 to 92 potential. A good step up from Francis. Also the stamina at 89-99. Same there for Francis. So Francis is pretty much better in every per 9 category besides home runs. But Lopez is just much more dynamic. So it just comes down, do you want the more reliable guy who's going to give you like 5 or 6 solid innings? Or do you want the guy in Lopez who's going to be able to throw like a complete game shutout every now and then, but not give you the length all the time? I think we just lean upside here. And at pick 41 again, we'll pick a guy one spot ahead of where we have him ranked. Last pick with Ayala, he was ranked 38th. We picked him at 37. And now Herb Lopez ranked at 42 for us, and we'll pick him here at 41. So 3 starting pitchers to start here for the Colorado Rockies. And we might be drafting our entire rotation and how it's going to look like 3 or 4 years from now. We start with Michael Yamashita, then we go with Juan Ayala, and then Herb Lopez there. And then Alexis Quesada goes off the board. The relief pitcher we were considering, he goes there to the White Sox. And we'll just keep it rolling here. I'll sim once a relief pitcher or a starting pitcher doesn't get drafted, then I'll sim ahead. But again, just look at all these relief pitchers. At least Kansas City went with a starter as well as the Angels. But we're not getting any position players here after the first round. Now the Mets up. And they go with a right fielder here. So Roy Prince is the pick there for the Mets. And we'll sim to our next pick. But before we do that, I guess Vera is our top option. As David Francis goes there to the Pirates, the guy we were considering at 41. So really for our next pick, it's probably going to be another starting pitcher, as Jose Vera would be nice. Justin McFadden is someone we would consider, as well as Alfonso Campaneris. Andres Pena, another pitcher not even ranked. We have him at 50. Same here with Garcia. We have him at 66. So we'll go ahead and sim to our next pick. Justin McFadden goes to the Athletics, so he is out of contention. Jose Vera and Alfonso Campaneris here. As let's just go to the second real quick and see if anyone headlines this round. I don't think anyone here really. Lewis Simmons, that catcher we had, goes to Minnesota. But other than that, really nothing going on. And I think we're going to have to go with another starting pitcher. Like I said, we went heavy. I mean, we have a second baseman here if we want to go against the grain. Another second baseman. Next draft, I don't think we're going to be scouting any starting pitching. I think next draft we're going to focus on the infield and maybe some relievers. Shane Goldberg here at 146 projected, so we can hold off and get him next round. And we actually only have 8 seconds here. I didn't realize how quick that went. So we go with Vera or Campaneros. We're going to go with Campaneros and hope that Vera slips to the next round. Campaneros, another lefty. So now 4 starting pitchers selected in this draft. He doesn't allow home runs. Good strikeout stuff. Limits walks. He does allow some hits. Doesn't have good breaking stuff. Good control. Good velocity. And he's someone who could probably be like a number 4, number 5 type starting pitcher. And now we'll go ahead and sim and hope Vera is still there, which he is. 21st on our board, not even ranked. And we might as well just make it 5 for 5 on starting pitchers. There's also Rudy Smith here, not ranked. 88 to 98 potential, so it looks like he's going to be a stud, but it just will take some time as he's only going to come in at like a 50-something overall. But we're going to go up for Vera, 21st, and we'll make it 5 for 5 on starting pitchers. And we very well could have just drafted our rotation a few years in the future. 80 to 92 potential, and I think we got a steal here at 110 in Jose Vera. So now 2 picks remaining for the Rockies, as we'll now sim to our 5th rounder, 140 overall. And look at this, all starting pitchers on our board. Here's a relief pitcher, a third baseman. But should we just do it again? I mean, I'm firmly a believer in going best player available, and it just always seems to be a starting pitcher in this draft. But I mean, you can only have so many starters. Here's a reliever, Rodney Hare. We only have him about halfway scouted. He's also not ranked at one. All these guys aren't even ranked. So we just discovered all these guys. Daryl Talbot, we don't even have him scouted at all. Someone maybe we'll take a dart on if he's there at our last pick. But I think we just got to go with another starter. Maybe we convert one of these guys into a bullpen arm. And we won't go with Pena just because we don't have him fully scouted. But we have Cameron Garcia here, fully scouted, and Rudy Smith. And again, time is running out. And we're going to go with Rudy Smith just because of the ceiling. 88 to 98 potential. And like I said, it'll probably take some time, but maybe he's someone who can develop into a nice long relief pitcher for us. Now we'll sim to our last pick, and we still have all these guys available, all these starting pitchers as well. And like, are we going to go starting pitcher all seven picks? I don't believe it. What about these relievers? Bernardo Delgado, 155. Buford Pins, 158. And I think we'll just go with him. Why not? We need to add a relief pitcher. This catcher, Ronald Cabrera, a switch hitting catcher, very good contact, good fielding, a good arm. We'll just go with the catcher. Ronald Cabrera, the last pick here in this first draft. And we went with so many pitchers. We'll just recap real quick. Michael Yamashita, he's going to be an ace. There's no doubt about that. He got us off. And we really wanted Howard Wooten, though. That would have changed the total trajectory of our draft. We really wanted Merrill Carney in the second, but the Angels are wise to pick him at number 8. So Yamashita for us at 3rd overall. Then Juan Ayala, someone I think could be a number 3 type guy in the rotation. Herb Lopez here, a lefty with dynamic stuff. Someone he'll take a few years to come along here. And then Alfonso Campaneris, another lefty, the 4th starting pitcher we picked. And then Jose Vera, not even ranked on the MLB board. 21st on our board, we get him at 110. And Rudy Smith closed us out with pitchers as he has 88 to 98 potential. And then Ronald Cabrera, who we just selected, a catcher. So that was kind of exhausting. I know it took a little bit to get there, maybe a little bit to get through it, but we got it done. And now we can look ahead to finishing this season. And to close this episode, we'll just take a real quick look at our last game there, the day of the draft. We had to sim this game. We beat the Mets 7-5, and the Mets are now worse than we are, and that's super surprising. Tapia 1 for 4, Blackman 2 for 4, and another 2-hit performance from Diaz, Bryant, and Tolia. We haven't seen much of Tolia lately. Kyle Datris there, 1 for 4. He gets a double. Chris Bryant has really been coming around, and he's kind of on a hot streak here as we head into the All-Star break. Tolia had a triple, Tovar a home run. Freeland only 1 earned, but he does allow 5. Ryan Feltner the win, no earned and 2 1/3, 3 strikeouts. Jake Bird a hold. And Justin Lawrence now, our new closer, our 3rd different closer of the season. After trading away Daniel Bard and then Tyler Kinley, Lawrence records the save, a strikeout in that inning. And now to close here, we'll simulate this last game before we head into the All-Star break. Cal Quantrill against Jose Quintana. And Lawrence going for the save. We're up by 2, tying run on base, 2 outs. Omar Narvaez up to the plate, and Lawrence works out of that one as we win back-to-back games into the All-Star break. Athletics are offering us Seth Brown, and he's having a very down year, batting just over 201, but slugging 285. And, power is part of his game, so we are not going to do that. And we actually go into the All-Star break with a sweep of the Mets, as we are now 40-57. Real quick, Brendan Jones 1 for 4 with a double. Nolan Jones 2 for 4 with a double. A hit for Datris, Tapia, and Doyle. Cal Quantrill, great work here. 7 innings, just 1 earned, 5 strikeouts. Jake Bird, another hold. His ERA at 1.83. And Lawrence gets his second save, now 2 for 2, although he did walk 2 guys there. So we're at 40-57 heading into the All-Star break. Just 1 game below the Giants here. And the only team with a worse winning percentage than us in the NL right now is the New York Mets. What about in the AL? The Athletics are the worst team in the league right now. The Tigers are the worst team in the league right now. 32-65. What a disappointing year for them. You're kind of hoping maybe they would take another step forward. So, as expected, we're kind of at the bottom of the league this season, but we're gonna make some trades in the coming episode. We'll hit into the All-Star break with the Home Run Derby, the AA and AAA All-Star games, and of course the MLB All-Star game here from Texas this season. We were able to cover some ground, and of course we got through the MLB Draft, and all pitchers is a pitcher-heavy draft. So next season, of course, we're gonna shift our focus to kind of try and shore up our bullpen and get some pieces for the infield and maybe even the outfield. Although we do have pretty good depth there at this point in our farm system. So this is where I'm going to leave you, folks. As always, thank you so much for watching. We got through our first draft in this series, and I hope you enjoyed it. I really wish MLB The Show would kind of improve the format of the draft, especially scouting. They got to separate international players from American players. We have to have like the MLB entry draft, and that has to be separate from like recruiting and trying to bring players over from Japan or Venezuela, Cuba, whatever it may be. But a lot of overhaul needs to happen in this franchise setup for MLB The Show, and I'm sure many of you franchise players agree. So, as always, everybody, it's been real, and be well. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time for the trade deadline and the All-Star break.